This week in AI was a lot, and I mean that in the best way. So let's go. Starting with the biggest one. OpenAI just launched GPT 5.6 and the flagship version is called Sol. This is their direct answer to Claude Mythos, and the benchmark numbers are actually really impressive. On Terminal Bench 2.1, which tests how well AI agents handle real coding tasks, Sol scored 88.8%. The top version, Sol Ultra, pushed that to 91.9%. For comparison, Claude Mythos 5 sits at 88% and Gemini 3.1 Pro is way back at 70.7. So Sol is genuinely at the top right now in agentic coding. In cybersecurity testing, Sol matched the performance of Mythos Preview on exploit bins while using roughly a third of the tokens. Mythos 5 still leads at that benchmark at around 80%, though OpenAI hasn't shared comparable efficiency data for it yet. OpenAI also says Sol found real bugs in browsers like Chromium and Firefox during testing, though it never produced a full end-to-end exploit on its own, which actually puts it below Claude Mythos in raw offensive security capability. Now, here is the thing about GPT 5.6. There are three tiers. Sol is the flagship. Terra is the mid-tier and costs half the price of Sol while matching GPT 5.5 quality, and Luna is the budget option. On top of that, there are two modes, Max mode for deeper thinking and Ultra mode which actually sends complex tasks to multiple AI agents running at the same time. Pricing is $5 per million input tokens and $30 per million output tokens for Sol. Terra cuts that in half, and because Sol uses fewer tokens to do the same work, the actual cost per task could end up lower than the previous version. There is also a Cerebot integration coming in July that will run Sol at up to 750 tokens per second, which would be extremely fast. But here is the part that's causing the real noise. You can't just go use this model. At the request of the US government, OpenAI started with a limited preview for trusted partners only, as a step toward an eventual executive order framework. OpenAI was very clear that they are not happy about it. They said this kind of government access process should not become the long-term default because it keeps the best tools away from developers, businesses, and security teams who actually need them. And honestly, that frustration makes sense, especially when you are sitting on a model that tops the leaderboard and can't ship it normally. The same government already forced Anthropic to pull Fable 5 and Mythos 5 from all customers worldwide before this. So this is becoming a pattern and it's one worth watching. Moving on, Google just gave Gemini 3.5 Flash the ability to see and control your computer. They're calling it computer use and it's now built directly into the model. That means the same model you use to ask questions can now look at your screen, click things, open apps, fill forms, and operate your browser without you doing anything. Previously, this was only available in a separate Gemini 2.5 model. Now it's just part of Flash, which is the fast and affordable version. On the OS World benchmark, which tests how well AI agents handle real computer tasks, Gemini 3.5 Flash scored 78.4. That beats GPT 5.4 Mini at 72.1 and the older Gemini 3 Flash at 65.1. GPT 5.5 sits just ahead at 78.7. Anthropic's Opus 4.8 leads everyone at 83.4. So Flash isn't the best in class here, but it's competitive at a much lower price point, which is kind of the whole point of Flash. The safety side is interesting too. Google added adversarial training to help protect against prompt injection attacks, where a malicious website tries to trick the agent into doing something harmful. There are also two optional enterprise safeguards. One pauses the agent and asks for human confirmation before doing something sensitive or hard to undo. The other automatically stops the agent if it detects an attack mid-task. For developers, the whole thing is available through the Gemini API right now. Google also put a GitHub reference implementation and live browser-based demo so people can start building agents quickly. Now, let's talk about Mistral. They just released OCR4, which is a model built specifically to read text from documents. like PDFs, Word files, PowerPoint presentations, all of it. What makes this one different from earlier versions is that it doesn't just pull out raw text. It also understands where each piece of content sits on the page and what type it is. So it can tell the difference between a title, a table, a formula, or a signature. It also gives you a confidence score for each word or page, so you know how sure the model is about what it read. It supports 170 languages including less common ones. And in a blind test with over 600 documents, independent reviewers said OCR4's output was better 72% of the time compared to competing models. Pricing is $4 per 1000 pages or $2 in batch mode, which is pretty reasonable for what it does. This one is quiet but genuinely useful for anyone building document pipelines or search systems. On to ByteDance, they just announced CDance 2.5, a new video model that can generate a single clip up to 60 seconds long with no stitching. Every other major AI video model right now cuts at around 5 to 10 seconds and then joins clips together to make longer videos. CDance 2.5 generates the full 30 seconds as one continuous output, including scene changes and changes in pace, which is actually a hard problem. It can also take up to 50 inputs at once, so you can give it reference images, audio tracks, and additional files all in one go, which makes it much more useful for complex scenes with multiple characters. You can also edit the video after it's generated while keeping the overall look and feel the same. CDance 2.0, the previous version, also got an upgrade and now supports native 4K with 10-bit color. ByteDance dropped all of these at Volcano Engine's Forge conference alongside 4 other models, including a new language model, an image model, and an audio model. CDance 2.5 launches in early July. This one is going to be very interesting to watch when the community starts putting it through real tests. And the last but definitely not least, Cursor just had a big week. If you don't know Cursor, it's the AI coding tool that took over from GitHub Copilot and became the go-to for developers who want AI to actually help them write code. And they just announced 3 things. First, they are training their own AI model from scratch, no open source base, built entirely in-house with SpaceX backing the training. SpaceX acquired Anysphere, the company behind Cursor, earlier this year. The model is reportedly comparable to Claude Opus and GPT in terms of size and is trained on 10 to 20 times more compute than Cursor's previous models. It's also meant to work beyond just coding. The timeline is a few weeks away. Second, they announced Origin, which is a completely new Git platform built for AI agents. Git is basically the system developers use to manage and save code changes. Origin is designed so that thousands of AI agents can all read and write to the same code repository at the same time without everything breaking. It handles merge configs, fixes failed tests automatically, and manages code review comments. It's already live internally and with some early partners, with board access coming in fall. And third, Cursor is launching a mobile app for iOS. It's a beta right now, but it lets you manage your AI coding agents from your phone, check in on tasks, unblock things that got stuck, and even remotely control agents running on your desktop. The fact that Cursor is now building their own model instead of just using OpenAI or Anthropic is the real headline here. That changes the whole competitive picture. So that's where we will wrap it up. The government restrictions on GPT-5.6 Sol are the thread worth pulling on, because if this becomes the standard for every frontier model, it could change who actually gets to use the best AI tools going forward. Drop your thoughts below, make sure you are subscribed, hit the like button, and I will see you in the next one.